So welcome back guys to another video today, and this is Transfer Roundup Part 2. So as we promised, we are going to bring you Transfer Roundup and parts. So this is Part 2 after the Part 1, and we are going to keep releasing as we get the news. So as I've stuck here with the credible sources that reported this news, we are going to bring it until the transfer bonanza ends. It will end around October, so it's going to be a great period for football fans. Which transfer materializes, which doesn't, what happens on deadline day. We are going to cover all of it guys. So let's start with the first news, and the first news is about Cedric Kipre, who has gone to West Bromwich Albion from Wigan Athletic. Now unfortunately with Wigan Athletic, with the administration, the problems, the ownership problems, the club has faced a lot of downfall. This club literally finished 12 points above relegation zone and still had to be relegated because of the administration -12 reduction. This is sad, and that's life. Unfortunately, the club has been struggling. They have to sell players to pay the loan money and all the problems that come with administration, the wages and everything, and they have sold Cedric Kipre to West Bromwich Albion. These signings, you're going to see more and more players signing who have very low value and really going to help these clubs. Championship players are really going to go to clubs in the bottom half of the Premier League who are going to really help this club stay up. So this is a smart signing with West Brom, but let's see how it materializes. So second news guys, we move on, is confirmation of James Rodriguez being transferred to Everton Football Club. You heard it right. James Rodriguez to Everton Football Club. This guy, 5 or 4 years back, was linked to move to Chelsea, was linked to move to Bayern Munich. This guy was one of the great midfielder you will see in the last 4 or 5 years. He was very highly rated. And who would have thought that he will be going to Everton Football Club? The beauty of having good money that the Premier League provides the club, and also having a big name manager like Carlo Ancelotti. This is a very good move, and with already securing Allen and very close to securing Doucouré, this side could really surprise, and with already they are very close to signing Fikayo Tomori from Chelsea on a season-long loan. Everton are really going under the radar of having a very good window. So guys, you really have to watch them out this season. Do watch them out. Now we go on to another part of news, and that is related to Sheffield United, and that's about Ethan Ampadu. Ethan Ampadu is a very good Chelsea youth player, really rated highly. But unfortunately, with already the depth that Chelsea have, Rudiger, Zuma, Andreas, Thiago, even Tomori has to go on loan. And in the midfield, I really prefer Ampadu as a DM, but they already have Kante, Jorginho, they're looking for Declan Rice. The loan move really made sense, and even if we don't know, will Sheffield change a structured team, a settled team? But to learn from Chris Wilder is going to really help Ethan a lot. He really will learn the Premier League things, and he might really force his way into Chelsea lineup next season. Let's see about that. So next news we move on is about Wolverhampton Wanderers, and in space of 2-3 days they confirmed 2 signings, Silva and Marcel. Now you all have watched Olympique Lyon in the Champions League, and this guy played in the back 3 and is a very good player. And with Wolves also playing back 3 and already having some good players in that, this player could really make sense for them, and not such high big risk signing, so very well done to Wolves. And Silva is a player who you can't expect an immediate impact, but he's a very good player who has a very good potential in the future, and this shows how quickly Wolves act. If Wolves have a target that they think will help their club, they will go there and 100% secure it. That shows you how well a club is run. So well done Wolves. Now we move on to the news of Fulham, who have just come back from the Championship to the Premier League now. And Fulham are very close to sign Ola Aina on a season-long loan with an option to buy. Ola Aina was a former Chelsea youth player who was really regarded high, but unfortunately with managers like Antonio Conte, who do not prefer youth players, he had to go on loan to Torino. He has impressed here, but unfortunately it looks like he'll be coming to Fulham now, and this is a very good deal for Fulham because Ola Aina is a very talented player. If he plays well, it's good enough for them, he helps them stay up and they can sign him. If he doesn't, it's still a low risk deal. This is a very good deal for Fulham, especially with the window they had 2 years back. Now we go on to Old Trafford to Manchester United, and United it's been told that they have been offered Sergio Reguilon. Now we all know that Sergio Reguilon was mostly, I think as per sources, Chelsea had signed Sergio Reguilon if they thought that Ben Chilwell deal could collapse. Chelsea's first target has always been Ben Chilwell, but they signed Reguilon because they thought that if the deal collapses, we should have at least another deal secured. That shows how good they may run this window. Now Reguilon had really played well for Sevilla in the Europa League and has caught a lot of eyes of big clubs this summer. And with his low price of 25 odd million, it's a no-brainer. United have a lot of problems with injuries to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw is a very good left back who really had a good year last time, but if you're gonna be fit for 20 games, it will be trouble, and Brandon Williams just isn't ready. So this deal for 25 odd million really makes sense. They already have signed Donny van de Beek. If they get Reguilon and they get Sancho, that's a very good squad and United might be striving ahead. Will United sign him and strive ahead next season? We'll find out in some weeks that will this move materialize or not. Then we move on to another piece of news, and that's about the saga that we've been witnessing between Liverpool, Bayern Munich, even United in somewhat. This is a very interesting race. Now, advanced stage, you've got Ronald Koeman being the Barcelona manager who really likes Wijnaldum. Now, Wijnaldum has been linked to a move with FC Barcelona. On the other hand, Thiago has been linked with a move to Liverpool, with Jurgen Klopp really wanting him a lot. But Liverpool unfortunately are not ready to pay 30 million and want to bring it down to 25-20, which for me is really surprising because he's a player. If he's available 30 million, you straight away go give any money you have and take him because he's a very good player. He's a very good player who, if surprisingly this transfer was not 30 million or some clauses wasn't there, is at least 100 or 80 million midfielder. If Declan Rice is 50 to 60, this guy is at least 80 to 90. He's a very good midfielder for the people who have watched Bayern Munich last season. But unfortunately, Liverpool are taking their time with the deal and United are still in the race. But as per the sources, as I've stuck the picture up here, United still haven't made a concrete move here. So it's up to Liverpool. Pay 30 million and get Thiago. Don't pay it and some club might surprise you. So this was the saga and the news that we are getting, and this could really go to the end day. Now we move on to news of Chelsea, and this club just can't rest. From one day you get a news of tweet, Chelsea have signed a player, then you get a certain account saying Chelsea have removed the pinned tweet, which means Chelsea are going to sign another player. That's how fast Chelsea have been in this window. So Chelsea had signed Havertz 3 to 4 days back. We haven't even got a rest to make a predicted lineup, and they come with another transfer. So as per the credible source, as I've stuck the picture up here, Chelsea are really close to signing Mendy. Now this player has been preferred by Peter Cech. Now unfortunately with the season that Kepa Arrizabalaga had and the problems that he had, Chelsea have been in the market for the keeper for some time now. But unfortunately, with the high value that they signed Kepa for, the low resale value, the high wages, it's better to give Kepa another chance. So, but with this thing, Caballero is not going to be the one who is going to, like, if Kepa is not playing, how can Frank Lampard trust Caballero? So this keeper makes a lot of sense, and especially his athleticism is really going to excite Frank Lampard, especially the set piece problem Chelsea have. And for 20 million or just above it, this deal makes a good deal for Chelsea, low risk deal. So again, Chelsea are close to signing another player, and most probably they might surprise you with Declan Rice. So it's really going a surprise window. Chelsea are just signing player after player after player. Now we move on to Newcastle United, and just like Everton have said, these guys are going under the radar and are having a very good window. These guys, we all know, they're very close to signing Jamal Lewis. With the two players that I put photo here, they've already got Callum Wilson, they've got Ryan Fraser. Last year they paid 40 odd million for Joelinton, and these players have even cost less than that. Very good signing for free Ryan Fraser and Callum Wilson for around 15 to 20 million. It's a very good deal, and Newcastle are really doing well this season. But the thing is, will they strive ahead and go to the top 10 or 11th rank in the league, or will they again find a way to struggle around 14-15? Keep in mind that they had a very good year last year. Will they replicate it? Will they go even better, or will they go down? It's very unpredictable to predict this beautiful club. So now we move on to another piece of news, and this is going to be the last news today, guys. And this is about Koulibaly, one of the most highly rated centre back we know that Manchester City have been really going on to get him. But when you go for a player and you want to go for a player whose name is that he plays for Napoli, you are going to be struggling for signing him, because the Napoli president, he really wants to get the best value for the player, and it takes a lot of time. And especially with the relationship that these two clubs have, this deal could take a lot of time, and as is happening. Now, as per the credible source, City are trying to make some offers and trying to make an offer for around some 60-70 million. But here, as he has written, Man City are preparing a new bid to sign Koulibaly, but Napoli won't accept a bid less than 75 million. Now we don't know will City pay that or not, because as we have seen with Alexis Sanchez, City never want to go over what they want. But again, if they sign Koulibaly, what is the weakness then left in the side? Because the biggest problem is defense. So this was the news, guys, and just like some news we've spoken about earlier, this could really go to that Lende. So guys, this was the transfer under part 2 where we covered some part of news. I really hope you liked it. We know we still did not cover some of them, but see, this is small videos, we're only going to cover some of them. But slowly we'll make part 3, part 4, and we're going to go forward like this. I hope you like it. Please like, share, tell your friends about this information. Please subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you're aware when the next transfer roundup will be coming. So thank you so much, guys.